Well, one thing I learned about tonight's episode, Monet has a type.
Oh, cause you can't tell me them two niggas don't look like the same. Here's the thing. To let y'all in on a little background information here. So when Najir saw who was cast in it, and he saw pictures of him and Tahada side by side, he was like, "Oh man, they kind of do look like the same person."
Yeah, you know what's funny? And I never thought, like, I didn't even think about dating, but I never thought maybe they're related. I just say they looked alike, and I left it at that. I never went any deeper. So, like, when I saw that this was like first of all, last week we had Tyler. This week we got New Edition. Also, we had a cameo by Bobby Brown. Little if y'all know it or not.
Yeah.
When he came to pick up Drew.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that this was setting up that she has a type, and I don't know where this pays dividends as far as them being, looking alike or whatnot. But
not them looking alike. It's this being a past relationship. So that means everything Kane was saying he already knew.
Yeah. So let first of all, folks, we're in episode 2 of season 2 of Power Book 2 Ghost. This episode is Selfless Acts. I need to read the synopsis real quick because this is really goodly wrote. Like this, let me read this. Tariq will need to let go of the past to save what's left of his family. Diana helps Monet repairs the business, but sees Monet as a distraction. Kane takes a lesson from a new ally to get what he wants. Or it's Kane actually a pawn in a bigger scheme that he doesn't even realize he is. And
we talked about last review that Kane wouldn't have shop his knife in the drawer. Here helps even it. He doesn't ask the proper questions.
Yes, exactly.
Because even when he was asking at the beginning of the episode with Mecca or Daniel, whichever name you would like to call him at this point.
Oh, Dante,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This is that Jesus. Y'all leave me alone. Let y'all know now. I don't want to hear no bullshit.
Terrell and Tariq.
Yeah, exactly.
Dante Daniel.
But at the beginning of the episode, when he's asking about how long his father's going to be locked up, like, again, Kane was like, "What, nigga, you read the book or something? Like, you need to know all this information?" He's like, "Yes." But Kane didn't understand. The yes wasn't because I need to be in business with you. The yes is because clearly I still love your mother. You just don't know. What happens if we find out that this is actually Kane's father?
I mean, at least he's black. And Lorenzo isn't, so I don't know.
They're both like, I mean, he may have more black in him, but he's still clearly mixed. So maybe it's like, again, this is just a very interesting dynamic to end this episode with.
Never saw this coming.
Because never did I put together that these two would know each other.
Yeah.
And when you see her walking up and you see him, everything is just like, this is a power moment, because this was a hell of a setup here.
Yeah.
And her to say, when he said, so you still remember our old signal? And she said, the knock trash cans, and who the hell will be blasting New Edition? So that means she knew it was him from the beginning. She kept on looking like, who the hell is this playing New Edition? Can you stand the rain? Man, that, again, good job. Good job, Writers of Power.
This is a fantastic.
You set up something. You set up a lot of stuff in this episode.
Yeah, this is a fantastic episode.
Oh man.
They set up a lot.
They took the first episode to reintroduce you to these characters, as we said before. Like, they're going to reintroduce you to these characters. We try to do the same thing in our review, reintroduce you to these characters. And then they went for the head in this episode with a multitude of setups.
Yeah.
Of like, hey, this is where the plot is going. These are the people you need to be worried about. Down to, I mean, I'm just ready. Let's get into this episode, because I got other people we need to talk about too. That was a big moment.
Yes,
but
it
other
was,
people
definitely.
had huge moments too.
Yeah, have you ever been to Juniors, by the way, in Brooklyn?
Yes.
Yeah. Dope spot. Also,
I've never walked there for a cheesecake, but I have been to Junior's.
I'm trying to think, or am I tripping? Was this where Diddy made
That's why he made the walk for the cheese. That's why I said I've never walked for a cheesecake there. But yes, I've been to Junior's.
The band had to go get the cheese.
Hey, they was mad as a motherfucker too.
Yes, they were. Hey, that is funny.
All that to not have a career now. I'd have been
crazy. I mean, Machine Gun Kelly might be the only person that is still left from Diddy's regime. I mean, Dandy Kane,
Janelle Monet.
Janelle. Okay. Yep.
You got some folks now.
Yeah, but a lot of people didn't make it though. That whole the Dandy Kane, the band, what was it? The Last Train to Paris, folks.
Hey man, that's my fucking album too. Dirty Money. That album is ridiculous.
Gone. Yeah, it is.
He broke them up after one album.
Yeah. And then like re-release like an extended one, but yeah. But let's get into this episode. We do got a lot of things to cover in this episode. I do got to give a shout out to Truth. Truth made an appearance. It's been a long time since we've seen Truth.
Long time. hey, man. Truth and Yaz, dog. Dog.
Yeah, it's got 2 episodes.
Our prayers have been answered.
God, I love me some Courtney.
The moment
Courtney Kemp is giving us what we want.
Hey, Courtney, the moment I see her name, like while they play Big Rich Town,
it's going down. Yeah,
Yaz
shout out to Yaz.
Murderer in these streets.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, streets need a body on a remix.
Man.
Tasha is out here remoting in from the set of Queens. She couldn't be here at the moment.
Hey. Why? Hold on. Why I saw someone tweet, "Oh, she went to Woodsack and escaped to LA to reform her group." Brandon
E. and heavy in the church became a Christian woman.
Her whole identity just switched up.
Wouldn't that be a story? Yeah,
they need to do a crossover, Joe.
You're right. That is funny.
And to show Tasha on the set. Tariq, you can't talk now. I'm about to go on stage.
They went from bitches to queens, man. Look, that's the story. This Tariq was like, man, my mom, man, that's, she not get that bad. Yo, what's okay? Like we're going to kind of go through events of the episode because a lot is really to unpack, and then obviously the big moments will flesh out. Yeah. Lil Guap has returned, and I don't understand how is it now 2 seasons and he still don't know how to stay off of his phone. I just don't get it. He out here, he's a clown. He got his fingers broke. Mecca Dante basically said like, if you align with this dude,
you can't be.
It's not good for business. And I mean, it's common sense, but also that also makes Mecca a liability because he was rolling with him in the first episode. So like, but
I think that was just a setup.
Okay.
That was just him getting in. At this point now, by this episode, we could tell he's just milking Kane.
Mm-hmm.
So even when the first episode we saw him pull up to that house, he knew what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing. So he did that to milk Kane. But I think here he sent a clear message, like, no. Oh, when he said chef, and the chef knew exactly, like, yep, flipped them iPods backwards, put the motherfuckers in his ear so I can't hear nothing. And he sent the clear message, like, nah, you can't roll with people like this. You always, as he said, Kane, when he was sneaking up on them, always got to watch everything because you never know.
Yeah.
Going to the Connect house live. Are you kidding me?
Dude is wild. That dude is wild. And I want more episodes of him because I just want to see somebody be even more stupid than Kane. And we got little Guap. But you know what's interesting too is that like everything we thought about Mecca, it still doesn't signify why he had so much product in the way he did. I guess we'll find out next episode.
Well,
but
he kind of say that I think he said something very interesting in this episode when he said it's a power vacuum in New York. Oh, and I'm here to fill a void. So that's saying he's based out of somewhere else. And he brought everything with him because he's looking for a distro. So he's looking to fill that void with somebody.
Yeah.
So that means he's
Gotcha.
an opportunist.
Gotcha.
So
As
he saw
yeah,
what happened.
He had a business card.
He knew at the end of the year, at the end of the season, I said end of the year, geez. At the end of the season last year, what happened with Monet and the big battle that they had. He knew about that battle and then made a decision. I need to go to New York because I need to fill this void. Could it be that we're going to get, maybe this is the connection to Tommy?
Could
because
be.
maybe he's the guy who's from the West Coast who comes to the East Coast. So
could be.
You never know here. Again, I really like this setup because
now
it's a lot.
You know what's crazy?
Here.
This is like one of the first times we can actually like technically fantasy book things here, because like this character is going to be so pivotal and such a wild card to everything we thought in the first episode and first season that we actually can really throw out some crazy theories and something may stick, but that wouldn't be far fetched.
We could do what the audience does. Here
I knew you were going to say
throw out everything out the world. This is really Tariq's father.
It's always good to see Simon Stern. He always makes his one appearance a season. He talks to Tate, and he basically is filling in. He becomes sort of the public eye, the audience eye here, and connecting everything. It's every time Stern is in the scene, it's always very important. He always has the most critical points of each episode that he's in, and this was the one that we understand why Tate has to go to campus. Now he understands who he needs to be surrounded by and what's the whole dynamic of what's going on campus. So it's not like a random, like, I think I'm gonna just go there because things are popping. Instead of, it's like, no, you going there because this is why. Do your research, keep an eye out on these people. Carrie Milgram is the prime suspect, who's attached to this and that. So like, it makes sense because it's part of the motivation that he's trying to get. As he said,
Stern was using everything. He like, I know you're gonna want to sleep with her. So I'm gonna bring her name up in here. You're looking for information on Sweeteney. Guess where? He went to this school. You need to get this group of people and get even more dirt on him. Like, he sold this to Tate, and then they sold us Tate's show. Right after that.
Well,
very slickly did it too.
That was brilliant. They said verbatim, someone with a lot of influence, and then the next scene cuts to Tate. And we're going to talk a lot about that Power Book 5, but I think it is interesting. We talked a lot offline that like the show is being attached to Tate. But it's not, when the word influence is involved in power right now. Oh, it's not Tate at all. It's not Tate at all.
Stern need to be on that show too.
I was going to say that.
The ultimate at influence at this point.
And he's a big enough name to put as a reoccurring actor. And I would buy, man, give me Stern, give me Ott, give me what's his Mock. Yeah, like
you can have a bunch of heavy hitters all on, and then you get the return of Tamika, because don't think she just disappeared, folks.
Yeah.
Like,
and she probably she probably in DC with a raise too in her own little thing.
You can really branch this off. And again, this episode just set so many things in. This is the episode of Power where everyone had intelligence, or but Kane and Guap. They're just not gonna help them out here. But everyone else was making moves. Even though Kane made one smart move that is detrimental to his health, that made no sense for him to make. But like, just the growth we seen, man. I just need to talk about Diana, because what she discovered.
I can't wait to talk about that.
Like that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. We got to talk about Grandma here. Now, I tell you, this was a really good another scene that I thought was wrote really good. I mean, she got the DUI, and immediately we kind of hinted at that, like, this is going to be problematic going forward. Now as we got Yaz written off the show again, because now she's going to foster care.
She got managed to take Jazz out.
You know her. She gets two episodes. That's it. But it is worth noting that Grandma says she is 62 and tied. Now, folks, any of our audience out there who is not Black, I'm trying to tell you, 62 and tired. 62, the exact day age. 62 and tired can tell a lot about a person. When she says she tired,
that's it. It's over.
That's it.
I mean, that's it. Just know it's over. It is over. I am tired. I'm tired of dealing with these damn kids. And look, hey, I said it last episode when you brought it up. You was like, well, what could lead to the drinking? And I said, we haven't learned about how she was dealing with Raina. And then Tasha left, goes like, and she brought up all those names and then said, I am 62 and I am tired. When she said her ass is supposed to be at a sleepover, I need a break. Like, Grandma let you know.
I ain't gonna lie. I'll say, dog, if the episode go off right here, like it was well needed because she is 62 and tired. I'm trying to tell you, man.
What they tell you about black folk? It's difference between being tired and tired. If I'm tired, it's over. It is over. Over.
I've been tired a lot in my life, but I ain't never been tired. Like,
exactly. No, I ain't got that yet. I'm not old enough to be tired yet. Because when you get tired, everybody know about it. Because you gonna tell everybody, I'm tired. I'm sick of y'all. I am tired. That's all and that's all she said. I'm sick of this raising kids. I'm sick of this. I'm tired.
Hey, yo, they probably on set, they probably cut the scene. It's like, yo, like, I think we're gonna have to send her back to the thing. Like,
she need a break. You need a break.
Get the crew on her right now.
The crew start calling her Big Mama. You all right, Big Mama?
She spoke from experience.
Hey, she spoke from her ancestors there. She said that one. I felt that one.
Man. Is there, I mean, we talked about this a little bit, but like, is Yaz going with Tasha on board yet?
It has to be.
I'm so confused.
It's still not making sense why she wouldn't take an into Woodsack with Tasha. She's a kid. Tasha's her parent. That's the one thing the government allows all the time. You are allowed to go with your parent. It makes no sense. And now you put again, as we said, it could frame and put Tariq in a different situation.
Yeah, which we see in
this eventually now have to become the caregiver for his sister. He's not gonna have a choice.
Yeah. In going to Mecca's place, we got the new New York Penthouse. I think Power's always been really synonymous with these.
There's a couple of apartments here that don't make no sense.
Yeah.
Because what does Carrie do? And how the fuck did she get that apartment in New York?
Well, she used to. I mean, she did have a good job before that. So, I mean, she's bringing in some income. We got to hold on for her because we got some things to talk about with that. But I will say, from seeing his set location, which we got to really explore it, they gave a full panning view of it. To me, that automatically spoke that he's going to be a long-term character. Yeah. I think Power is synonymous with a few things, and I think that New York luxury penthouses has always been something. So, and I mean, Courtney even said it when Power, the original Power went down, that they said it was a bittersweet moment that when they were done filming there, that like that's someplace that they had spent many years in filming. So I think that they realized that set locations like that is iconic. The fans recognize it, and I think maybe they might be wanting to do something like this with Mecca here. So I don't know, but yeah, Mecca got questions. Kane said you're looking for a book report, but we all see how that all came about. Now let's go to Hannah, who is Carrie's sponsor, obviously from the 12-step program that she's been dealing with.
I swear, I always assumed the 12-step programs you were not allowed to like.
That's my question. That's my question. So
I'm confused.
I want to throw this out there to anybody who may know any bit of legal knowledge on this. I thought that you go to these things that you are completely covered under confidentiality. So two things to be made here, because this is important. So I definitely want to make sure you all jump in the comments and let us know this. And I think it's also reaffirmed later. This strictly tells us about how willing Kevin Whitman is willing to, how far Kevin Whitman is willing to go to get information on Carrie. He's not just doing his job. He is motivated on another.
There you go.
And when you start to say, my law versus your law, and I'm gonna muscle you out of yours, obviously by not being truthful, or it could be truthful, whatever it may be. It was a lot of he put her under a extreme amount of pressure immediately, to the point that they even broke up their agreement where he said, I can't be your sponsor no more. So I want to know, was he lawful in doing that or not? Because I think it's time for us to start building the profile on who he is. Is he
none of this so
determined
far seems overly lawful. Like he just ran up in her house. You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, but see, we'll come to that. But that's before we got to that, I started wondering, like, wait, that I never heard that. Like, what's the point of even saying things are going to be confidential if somebody could just come in and say, I'm a cop,
if your
et cetera, et
sponsor
cetera.
can say, you need to tell me every intimate conversation you had. Like, now, I do know that it's a sponsor, not a therapist. If it was a therapist, yes, that's confidential. You cannot get any information out of that. I believe when you go to Alcoholics Anonymous and those type of meetings, that is something that the police can't interject to nor get information from without exposing who they are. And then it's called anonymous for a reason. But a sponsor, it's neither one of those things. So okay. It being a sponsor, I'm trying to bring back. I did go to college for political science, so I'm trying to bring it.
Me.
Hey, I'm trying to bring it back, and I think the key thing may be that's her sponsor.
Okay,
the sponsor's just another person. They shouldn't. I don't think a sponsor holds any confidentiality. Anything where a police officer can't ask them questions because you're just a sponsor.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, you're not a medical representative. You're not one of those. That's questions then they can't go into those details. Okay. But a sponsor, just hell, I can say tomorrow you're my sponsor. I can't then go out and tell you I murdered 70 people, and then you're supposed to hold my confidence. That's not the way that works. Okay. I don't believe so. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I said, I definitely something I want to get a little bit more information on, because that's one part I was just like, this don't seem right, but I don't know. But Zeke declared for the draft. I think that the press conference would have been a lot more interesting if we would have got more press questions to really get him to fold. Because here's my thing. While that seems like almost like a throwaway scene, besides the idea that he's going to the draft, the first thing that he gets off and says that, Auntie, do you think I'm ready for all this? Well, I think if he had been pressured with hard questions, that we could have we could have easily been able to determine ourselves, like, bro, one bit of controversy your way, and
I was gonna say, we see the setup and it's already done. The bit of controversy is already done.
Yeah,
because when Monet asked him, "Are those off the court issues handled?" he said yes. And here we go. You being dragged out your dorm room. This white woman, who this athletes learn from Zeke. This white woman is recording you. First, it looks like she's there to help him. Then she does the devilish grin because she knows I got something that I can sell to somebody, because he was going to the draft. And the moment it's out, all they're going to see on that tape, you got drugged out of your dorm room by a police officer.
Yeah, good thing she didn't see his phone.
Draft.
Good thing she didn't see his phone, because that was the bigger story there. Like, oh, your teacher's calling you at what time? Oh, okay, cool.
And now Curry's screwed him over, because then it's gonna come out. So your whole time in school, you was having sex with this teacher?
Yeah, and he said he's gonna take them both down. We're still gonna come to that. We got to come back to that. It is interesting though that Zeke's girl he had in the room had said, "Are you going to do this? Are you going to get drafted to the Bulls? Are you going to get drafted to the Lakers?" And of course, my favorite of her choices: are you going to go to the Knicks? The Knicks need a savior. He said they're beyond saving.
Zeke ain't been watching basketball lately. Knicks are pretty damn good, my brother.
Yeah.
but not only that, the point that they, in the middle of an adult activity, you decide to rail off multiple NBA teams. He's right when he was like, "Shh, we're not doing that. We're not doing that." You will not call off multiple teams. What? Yeah. Nah, that was hilarious. But she's a gold digger.
100%. I mean, this is Denver all over again.
Yeah, she saw her ticket. Yeah. She knew what she was doing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. NBA players, man. Them hotels with them,
Hey,
up in
stay
Denver,
away
man.
from white women and Brittany Rayner. I need y'all to learn. White women and Brittany Rayner. Stay away from both. Y'all can learn. Yeah,
she is a sexual predator. That's all that is. That's all that is.
She ain't doing it for sex. These are business transactions.
Yeah, you're right. She's just a predator. You're right.
Transactions. Joe.
You're right. Yeah. I'm gonna go through a few things because there's a couple of things to kind of compound here. Diana wants to get into school. She's trying to get her education here. But before we actually get to that, it is interesting that this is the first time that we heard New Edition. And Diana thought exactly what I was thinking.
It was her anniversary.
It's your anniversary, right? And it's funny to me because this was the most second uncharacteristic thing Monet did this episode. Diana definitely came for her. Like, she said, oh, what you listen to love song? Oh, your anniversary. That is, I mean, it's all shade how she said it. I didn't say it, but it's all shade. I definitely thought she was going to clap back. But when you think about how this episode wrapped, that's because it had nothing to do with the anniversary.
Yep,
it was
she was thinking of someone else.
Nostalgia for the past.
Which explains why she was in her feelings when she went to see Lorenzo for her anniversary. And she's like, oh, you got me doing all this old shit all over again because she's thinking about that other dude because of that song and everything that's been playing.
Yeah. I wasn't even going to bring this up, but we'll come back to it in 1 second. But Zeke now knows the family plan at this point because Drew and the conversation and the other random agent that's trying to get involved here.
Of course, there's another agent.
Yeah. Tariq has been in front of the feds the entire episode. This time, they're asking about Carrie and Jabari's relationship. But I forgot. We talked about it last week. I forgot Carrie was also there at that dinner with Lauren and the family. So there is a lot of reason as to like how she becomes a suspect here.
I think it's more interesting the point that this new detective is so gung-ho over her has to do with whatever past where she broke his heart.
Yeah, we're definitely that's our big convo. That's definitely our big thing. Before I forget, real quick, I know I'm jumping ahead, but we'll come back to this. So when I said the most uncharacteristic things that Monet has done, the other uncharacteristic thing was when Diana told Monet about the sugar coat, and she said Rico did it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there any possibility here that this has something to do with Dante, and she knows it to be a sign from him?
No, because I think Monet didn't care either way. And by that point, I don't think she cared either way.
Did she know that Dante was already in town, so she knew she had a backup plan? I'm just trying to figure out why did she let this roll off the way she did?
Because remember, she still thinks that Zeke is her way out. She ain't paying overly a lot of attention to this.
That's a good point.
So she was just like, oh, guess that's it. Got to bake a cake.
So that's why, I mean, but is that what they mean by in the synopsis saying that Diana helps to repair the business? Obviously by the things she's doing, but Monet is distracted.
Monet is heavily distracted. Again, when I saw that scene and her reaction to that scene, I thought, well, this is still part of that PSD coming out where she is still like, if I'm in this, I'm in it. If I'm not, I'm not. Either way, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Because keep in mind, again, if we see by the end of the episode, it had nothing to do with nothing. The coke they had was actually real. This is but this is when we get to the point of, when we get to the point with Effie and Diana, because that's, to me, that is a huge thing for that to happen and that conversation to happen for Effie to tell her, who do you think did it? And Diana point blank said, yeah, my mom said to connect, but that doesn't make sense. And they're right, because he didn't know he was going to die.
Yeah.
So if I don't want him to die, I'm not going to sell you sugar.
Yeah, you're right.
And then Effie who would profit off of it? Who would be the person that would gain off of that happening? And Diana knew the moment she said it, she knew it was Kane.
Yeah, right. speaking of Effie, is interesting. That Effie got the first sex scene of the season.
No,
And you were right.
First one, is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh man.
Yeah, she gets
I
the
thought
first.
we had one of episode 1.
It is also important.
Cooper Sacks.
No,
had
he
the was first.
No, it's got the second this episode.
Shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
But wait, but wait, it is important what you said last week about Effie's relationship with Tariq. She is completely like, if it ain't about the business, she gives zero fucks about it. And that's been reinforced like 3 times this. So I think that's important. I really think it's important. But yeah, let's get down to the gist of things. But also, matter of fact, no, you brought up Sax, Sax got the second sex scene of the season. Wouldn't have guessed that. But we had one gap in what we said last week. We knew what lengths that Sax would go in order to be involved.
Mm-hmm.
Sax with the black pinstripe tux. Weird choice, but it's right on par with that. It's funny because they said you need to look like the part, and Sax cannot figure it out.
Hey,
so
always remember though, he went from working for the government.
Oh, I know, but I mean,
then, all of them get to come up. You saw Tamika, what happened?
That's
the
true.
Moment, everything went high price, and that was an expensive ass suit that Sax had on.
Yeah.
Those one of them Sears jumps he had on when he was working for the DA.
No, you mean the H and what they call the
K and G jumps?
No, the Joseph A. Banks ones. Buy one get 5 free.
Yeah, he out that section now, Joe.
But he is sleeping, pillow talking with Jenny Sullivan, which we know from last season. But I didn't even think that this is the way that he's going to get his information from inside, which. It works.
As we said, Sax will do whatever he needs to do to get the information that he needs. That's one thing about Cooper Sax, buddy.
Yeah, he got his entanglement going. He's dedicated to any extent. He is a sick individual. And since we're talking about Sax, Zeke had the third one, obviously, here. But really quick before we get to the Diana and Effie thing, Tariq, a thing that I think we need to also bring to the forefront, but this may actually be it, is Tariq's separation from the phone is almost like a parting way with the separation with his mom, who's on set for Queens right now. In Queens universe, that's like the multiverse looking it through that. He just looks in there and he sees Brandy and Eve and all of them just, chilling. But he got rid of the phone in the fire. No, he got rid of the SIM card in the fire. He kept the phone because he took the phone and he was about to plant it on Carrie. So question to you all is, should he have planted it or should he have taken it? What you think?
See, here's the thing. To me, the red herring is still that the detective's gun. In the end, this new detective is going this hard to disprove that the cop did it.
That's half the story. That's half the story.
No. That's what I mean. But that's why he's going extremely, because even if it would have, he hates Carrie. We know that much.
I wouldn't even say hate. There's got to be another word. There's got to be like.
Well, I think when some men get their heart broken,
then
sure. that hate comes. That's like hate. That's like
hate, jealousy. It's a bunch of words that can define him right now.
But he also has, I think, an assignment from the department is to cover up that this cop's gun was on the scene and we can't find him anywhere. Like, this is the murder weapon. Because in all honesty, you would never hear of a situation where you know who the murder weapon belongs to and that person isn't the number one suspect. Yeah. And you can't find the person.
You're right about that. Also, there's a lot of people of power involved in this case. Everybody's pillow talking this and that. No one's talking about the idea that the cop is missing. Like, of everybody that we and I think what you're saying is like, I mean, what you said is that if you didn't say that, it doesn't even exist this episode because people could automatically have forgotten because it's never been brought up by Jenny, by Sax, by McLean, by
remember, all
Tate.
of them don't know.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah. No, and they have enough ear to everything to somebody to have known that. So that means,
do they though? Because remember what he said. Like, once they find out who the weapon is, no one is to know. Because if you bring in Carrie and you try to say she did it, eventually you got to bring up the murder weapon.
I know, but I'm saying, like, they know so much information. Like, Stern doesn't know. I'm saying, like you said, their ultimate goal is to suppress that ever happened.
Yeah, this is behind the blue shield, buddy. There ain't nobody to know that a cop is involved in this in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
This Baltimore's finest right now.
Hey,
like,
exactly. As I said, this dude came in, and it may not be something he means to be, but he's coming in already dirty. You're already covering up.
Yeah.
Right from jump, you started covering up.
Yeah, you're right. Let's talk about but ultimately, should he plant the phone, folks? I want to know your thoughts about it, because it looked like he was going to, but he decided not to. Maybe because he heard her say that he's a good person, so he felt for her, But
I think that's what it is.
And let's not forget too, she also, at a point, it looked like she also liked him. She had some flirting tendencies towards him. That's what made Jabari not like him, remember?
But I think we took that at times as maybe flirting, when in all honesty, it may be that she just saw something in him.
Could either way, she has interest in him.
She has an alibi. So in the end, she has an alibi.
Yeah.
Because her and Zeke were clearly together.
Yeah. And I mean, we'll get to it, but yeah, let's talk about Effie. I mean, the thing is here, Effie calls up Braden and says, "Look, the product."
She said it was stepped on.
Stepped on.
Nah, that shit wasn't stepped on. If
somebody switched it, somebody switched their product for sugar. Effie and Braden got in that brawl with homegirl Alana. Braden was getting his ass beat too. Should be noted that he took an L.
He flipped it though.
Yeah,
he flipped it, and in the end, he beat the hell out that dude. But he took some. But Effie didn't. Yeah. Effie beat her ass from the beginning of that fight to the end, and then went home to fix. If you ever questioned if Effie was black, when she broke out that toothbrush to fix her baby hair after the fight, you knew then.
Yep. But you know what's funny? Tariq is a wild dude, because he brings Diana and two girls that he's messing with in the same room, knowing the type of energy they have, and of course they're going to have the type of dialogue they have, which I thought was really interesting. They say, "Oh, this I don't want to," or "This your man," or "This your girl," and then she's like, I beat another bitch ass tonight," which was all cool and all. We'll get to that in a second. But once Diana established that this had been stepped on or had been swapped, she goes and be truthful with Monet, which is right on par with what she did season 1. She was always truthful to her mother, and Monet was just like, okay, and Drew and them was like, wait, what? And couldn't believe that was her response. This is also when, after this is when Bobby Brown appeared, folks, and he came to pick up Drew to take him to the gun range, because for some reason he thought it was a good idea to take his brother, who has a hand injury, to a gun range.
I got questions, just minor questions here.
By the way, I'm calling Kane Bobby Brown, because if you didn't know,
because he played Bobby Brown. Because that's what the New Edition connection was. Oh, I got it. I'm pretty sure everybody here has seen that movie.
Hopefully, I don't know. You know how some people are.
Oh,
and he started to sing, so he went full blown Bobby.
Yeah, hey, the moment he started singing, that was the hint there.
Oh man.
But I think it did bring up something interesting, because Drew has always acted like he couldn't do anything. When he said, "Nigga, you're shooting a gun. This ain't drawing." Dude, anyone can shoot with two hands. Guess it ain't dribbling a basketball. It ain't shooting a shot. Like, everybody who I know who shoots with both hands. Because the last thing I want to do is be someone in a situation where something happens to my right hand and I'll be like, oh God, I can't shoot with my left. No. Like, come on, man. It ain't even that difficult. Shooting is all about trigger control. And I'm not getting to my nerd gun shit, but trigger control is all that really matters here. Nothing else. You ain't even got to line your sights properly. If you control the trigger, you can shoot with either hand. And I think this was just them to try to have that brother bonding moment, because Kane again was attempting to get into Drew's head
He's just trying
So
to get back
yeah,
home.
he's,
That's
he's
all it
doing
is.
whatever he has to. It's just that
And
right now his plan seems to have worked, but it's a red flag for the actual smart kid.
yeah. And not to mention, I mean, once here's the thing. When Monet goes to see Lorenzo in his luxury apartment in jail for their anniversary, I mean, he said that if you have more product, take more product, and quickly made Monet change her mind about Kane. And so he said, how do you want more, but you can't keep the family together? I mean, all very big factual statements here. But when Kane was able to come back, that man was like a kid in the candy store. He was so happy that he was like, I can go back home. And this is obviously when they get back to the table where Diana starts to put things together when she's
I think she put it together before then.
Oh, for sure. But I mean, that's what she articulated.
That's when she asked the question to Drew. Did you reach out to him? But did he reach out to you? And he was like, nah, he pulled up on me. I think that confirmed it for her.
Yeah. I mean, because she's been suspicious and she knows that, like,
and not to cut you off real quick. And I think she would have told Monet if Kane didn't walk in the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'd have told Monet. If Kane did not walk into that door, she'd have told Monet. That's why her reaction was, what is he doing here?
You're right, because she is honest Abe, and she definitely would have just like,
she'd have been like, look, Ma, it's not making sense. This had to be taken by Kane.
Yeah.
Who else has to profit? Who else has anything to gain off of that? Because Rico wouldn't have. So who else would have been? And she would have pointed her finger towards Kane. And when he walked in the door, that's when she let it go from telling Monet then. But then that's when I think more triggers went off to her. Like, yeah, he really did do this.
Yeah. But like you say, going back to Effie and Diana, who is the unlikely friends that I've never seen happening, which to me now, this definitely enforces that Effie is going to be around a lot more this. But she said, I see how you move. You move weight and you're in school. And I don't know how Diana thinks she's just going to be able to go to school. Monet's not going to find out, but whatever. That's not the important thing. The important thing is that Effie questioned Diana if she is even smart. That is the most disrespectful thing I have ever heard in my life. She said, "Are you even smart?"
and her response was, "I'm smart enough." That is not a comeback to somebody saying, "Are you even smart?"
But that could be interesting, and I think it's also interesting, which I didn't say earlier, is that when Monet was brought up by Brayden, Diana was looking like, oh, okay, there's a lot of like people knowing things that they probably shouldn't know. But it is interesting that that Diana wants to go to school for math, whether it's for Tariq, like Monet was saying, or because she wants to get better with the numbers. Well, guess who else did that and ended up becoming one of the smartest characters in Power? Tasha. It's Tasha's daughter, y'all. No, it is Tasha. It's just Tasha. She's going by alias right now. It's just Tasha.
Oh shit.
But it is important. It tells you how vital that is.
Yes.
For the business. But do you know what else is interesting here? Tariq is his father's son.
Oh,
Diana was told by her mother that Tariq isn't the one for you. It seemed to have worked out for their parents for a lot of years, that he had somebody who had that accounting background, and he was street smart and business smart. I mean, Tariq is clearly smart. Diana being able to up her ante here. I mean, at some point, we always said who's the better person for him. I still think
it's still Effie.
It's still Effie.
But
this is a game changer here for real. But it's not too much we can talk about with that. We're going to have to see how that grows. But we
got to see where does this lead Diana to going?
Yeah,
because if she actually can get into school, if she does get this degree, if she wants to do all of this stuff, it's way more than, I think she got way more than just the game in her mindset at that point. And I think she'll pass to that point of being the person that she would even want to be with, possibly. But I think like it's more interesting to see that Monet is trying her best to hold her back, which makes no sense.
Yeah.
It makes
also
no sense.
Kane being back also stunts every bit of growth that she was going to have within the family, you know, because when Kane was gone, she was getting the opportunities and she was growing her position.
No more. Like, yeah.
So it's interesting. By the way, every time Tariq kisses Lauren, he gets a phone call. It's just fucked up. He's just distracted.
That's why she pointed it out. She said every time.
It's just fucked up. But I think that is let's go to the most important thing of the episode, then we'll wrap. Carrie here taking L's left and right. She is the prime suspect here. She's not been arrested. She hasn't even been officially questioned yet, which is very weird. But it really is important because Kevin Whitman goes into the apartment and says, "Oh, the couch is moved." She responds, "Oh, this is about us fucking."
Told you. Hey, she pinpointed it for the audience here. Like his little feelings. But she said it in the first episode. She says, it's cop. She said, I messed up at first with him. So it's going to come up what she did to him.
What do you think it is?
I want to say, do you think it's a possibility that around the time that them two were possibly a thing, that Jabari got put in the picture? And that's why he does it. That's why he's going so hard about this.
And is this the reason why it was very important for us to note that when she left her previous job, that she was the reason that Jabari got a job there?
Mm-hmm. And remember, she is the subject of Jabari's book.
Oh my God.
So that could be why he is so mad. Because at this point, Jabari dead, and he immediately pinpointed his focus on her.
Yeah.
That was a weird place to go with your focus.
You're right. You're right. I don't know, folks. We want to know your comments about tonight's episode, Selfless Acts, with a question mark, by the way. There was a lot. This was a fantastic episode. We really can't wait to get to episode 3. The things are picking up quickly. I'm excited. So, but totally jump in the comments. Let us know your thoughts about tonight's episode, and we will see you next week once again.